All right, good morning there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and sports fans of all kinds. Today we're going to go over how we do some post-processing in Photoshop with our images. So you can see here a photo of my late puppy, and that's Cleo. So I lost her back in May. But you can see how some of the coloring on her is a little bit bright. Um, so I want to make some adjustments to that. And so that's what you'll see the PDF in your classroom. That'll explain what you're going to be doing. So for my beginners, here's that document. You're going to need at least 6 images. So one, we're going to be making adjustments to what's called the levels. Okay. The second image that you will need is you're going to be making adjustments to the shadow and highlights. The third one is we're going to be making adjustments to this hue and saturation. A fourth image you're going to need is we're going to do what's called unsharpened masking. Okay. Fifth one is adjusting our brightness and contrast. And then our last one is going to be obviously converting it to grayscale. So for each of these assignments, each of these portions, numbers 1 through 5, you'll be making 2 adjustments, and I'll just demonstrate that in a minute. For the 6th one, it's just the original image and then the grayscale one. For my intermediate students, you don't have to quite do the same thing because you should be somewhat familiar with this already. So what you need to do is just get some images. I want 8 images, and you're just going to do any kind of post-processing imaging or adjustments that you would like using any of this stuff here, and then you just explain to me what you did. Okay, so you don't have to go in quite as much detail as the beginners, but you do have to get 8 different images, and you're going to have to show me the difference between the original and then the adjusted one. All right, so let's get going here for everybody else, just to do a quick review. So the first one that I'm going to do is levels. Okay. Now our monitors work in what's called red, green, and blue. So that means that it shows the reds, it shows the greens, it shows the blues. So we can make some adjustments to that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save this photo. So I'm going to save this to my desktop for right now. And I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to call this post process. And I'm going to call this levels original. Okay, so now I've got that saved as my original. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some adjustments. So I'm going to go to Image and Adjustments, and there's my levels. There you'll see it says red, green, and blue. And here you kind of see all the different input levels, all these mountains. So I can start playing around with my levels right here, if I would like, but I'm not going to get quite the effect that I want. So if I go to Channel, there you can see individually I can select the reds, the greens, and the blues. And so I can make changes there. So I'm going to choose red. And then I can start to adjust my levels that way. But I'm not getting quite the look that I want. So I'm going to go to green. That's a bit better. All right. So there's an adjustment using my green. Maybe I want to actually leave it, and maybe I want to go back and change the blue. So these mountains are kind of the key part. Usually what we do when we want to make some sort of adjustments is go to the base of a mountain. So that's not too bad. All right, so I'm going to keep that. So before I save it, I want to do one thing. I want to capture a picture of this window showing what changes that I've made. So I'm going to bring up the snipping tool. So I'm going to click on the magnifying glass here, and I'll type snip. And here's my snipping tool. So I want to create a new snip. So this everything goes gray, right? That means I can now select a part of my screen, just like this. And then I can save that. I'm going to save that to my desktop and then post-process. And then I'm going to call this blue snip. So I'm going to just minimize that for now because I'll need it again. So I'm going to hit OK. So now I'm going to save this picture as blue levels. So now I'm going to go back to my original. So I'm going to open recent. There's my levels original. And again, I'm going to go to image, adjustments, levels. And this time I'm going to adjust my green. Perfect. So I'm going to get my snipping tool this time. I'm going to go new. Again, everything goes gray. So I'm going to highlight that. And I will save that as green. Minimize it. So now I'm going to save these changes that I made in Photoshop. So I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to go File, Save As. And then I'll call this Levels Green. So now I'm done with that, done with my levels. So for each section here, my intermediates, sorry, my beginners, you are going to be making 2 changes. Okay, so for each one, I want you to make 2 changes. Right there. My intermediates, you do not need to do 2, just 1, but I want you doing a combination of these in order to get the photo just how you want it to look. Now don't just make changes to your image just to appease me, saying, here, I made some changes, right? I want you to try to enhance the image. Because at the end, what you're going to have to do is explain to me out of your different images which one you prefer, the original or one of the adjusted images. Which one do you prefer better, and explain to me why. So if I go to that folder on my desktop, post-process, right? So if I take a look at these 3 images here, gallery. So there is the blue one. There's the green one. And there's the original. In actual fact, I like the original better because I don't really need to change the red, greens, or blues in this particular image. So I would just say that, right? The red, greens, and blues didn't really enhance the image at all. So in our classroom, I do have an example of that right here for you to take a look at. Now that I had to do 3, so now I'm going easier on you, right? So here was a picture that she took in levels, this particular student. Here you can see the changes that she made. And then she explains which one that she liked better. So again, you're taking photos based on something that makes you smile, something that makes you feel good. Goodness. We want to do goodness in the world, not we want to overcome bad. Okay? Whether it's someone helping pick up a book, opening a door for somebody, just chatting with somebody, being polite, something along that line. So once I've done that, I'm going to open up another photo. So I don't have another photo, I don't think. So I'd open up another photo. What do I got in here? Oh, let's choose that. Nope. Sorry, Rachel, can't use yours. Carry price. There we go. Okay, so my next image, what I'm going to do is adjust the shadow highlights. And so you can see I go to the same place. So I go to Image, Adjustments, and then I went to Levels. This one I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Shadow Highlight. And so they're all there, right? Image, Adjustments. So Brightness and Contrast is one I have to do. Levels is one. Hue and Saturation is one. And Desaturate is another one. And there's Shadows Highlights, the one that I was just looking at. So there's 5 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 6th one is actually a filter. So we're going to go to Filter, and then Sharpen, and Unsharpen Mask. And that's the 6th one that we can do. My intermediates, you can do any of these at all that you would like to do to enhance your image, right? You can do any of these different filters that you would like to play with, or you can do any of these other adjustments that we haven't done. The curves, the exposure, the vibrance, the color mixer, okay? So whatever you want to do to enhance your image, please feel free. My beginners, I would like you to stick with those 6 that I've got on our document. And that's it. And that's what we're doing. Right? So for this one, I would go Image, Adjustments, Shadows and Highlights. And there you can see I've got all these different things. Always make sure you've got a check mark here for preview so that you can actually see what the changes are while you play around with them. All right, have fun with this. Let's take some good, stunning, effective photos, and I will be back soon. All right, take care.